Joining us on the first debate this evening is from Kolkata. We are being joined by senior sports journalist Kishore Bhimani, from Bangalore, Saad Bin Jung, former Ranji player. Himanshu Chaturvedi, founder of the Lok Diksha Sports Law Initiative, is also with us. Atul Vasan will be joining us very shortly. But first question to senior advocate in the Supreme Court, Sanjay Hegde. We understand you believe the contents of this report should not be made public. Simple question, why not?
The time has not yet come. The report has been submitted. You must remember that this is a commissioner's report. This is a report by the court's commissioners, that is by retired Justice Mudgal and two senior advocates. The court appointed them, said, please look into the matter, give us a report. Based on that, we shall take a further call. Till such time that the court takes that call and decides that there is material which requires them to proceed in some manner. They might say, BCCI, go ahead and investigate X, Y, Z. They might say, Mr. Policeman, go ahead and investigate A, B or C.
Fair enough, Mr.
There are several possibilities.
The report is also going to make it clear if somebody is culpable or not, if someone's guilty or not. So why do you say it's not the time yet?
Culpability cannot entirely be established only by a commissioner's report. The report can bring about a statement of facts. It can also draw certain inferences. There would have to be either further investigation or there would have to be a judicial finding as to what exactly is necessary. Now, what is this report about? This report basically deals with a certain set of circumstances that happened during the IPL, that the son-in-law was found betting. How much of it did Mr. Srinivasan know? How much of it can vicariously be attached to Mr. Srinivasan and also to the team, that is Chennai Super Kings, or in the other case Rajasthan Royals? All those have to
one has to understand here. One has to understand, Mr. Hegde, that it's cricket that we are talking about.
Mr. Hegde,
this is not just a procedure which is happening in court, because it is 1.25 billion people who treat this sport nothing short of religion, who are suffering a huge trust deficit. My simple point of view here tonight, and I am submitting it to our panelists, and I am going to go across to Mr. Himanshu Chaturvedi and also to Mr. Kishore Bhimani and Saad Bin Jung. This is the question that I have to ask you. If a Mahendra Singh Dhoni is my captain, he is going to lead the charge at the Cricket World Cup 2015. Do I or do I not want to know what his opinion is about somebody who he believes was part of his strategy meets at Chennai Super Kings and was betting on the team? Do I or do I not want to know? Because do I or do I not want to know what the captain of my country thinks about such people?
Himanshu?
Whom are you asking?
Himanshu Chaturvedi.
Okay, I have three quick points. Let me answer Mr. Hegde the first. I mean, why are we behaving like ostriches? All of us know what Srinivasan knows about Meiyappan. Has he given a single statement ever that I have nothing to do with my son-in-law? Number two, who's Mr. Meiyappan to cricket? If he is not son-in-law of Mr. Srinivasan, could he enter any area? Do we know him as a cricketer? Who is he?
No,
Mr. Srinivasan, according to the law,
Himanshu,
any section of the law.
Just before you make your third point, I want to go back to Sanjay Hegde on that point that you just made. Mr. Hegde, you were talking about the fact whether or not there's going to be any link established. Yes, it's something that the Supreme Court also talked about today, that if someone like a Meiyappan is to be indicted, what is that going to mean for Srinivasan? It's a very important question, because we know that when the scandal first broke out, Srinivasan's first attempt was to pass off Gurunath Meiyappan as a cricket enthusiast, something that has been completely rubbish now.
Mr. Srinivasan, like anybody facing any allegation, is entitled to take most of his defenses. Now the first,
but it's a defense
the basic question is this: am I my son-in-law's keeper? If both are adults,
no, that means
you cannot vicariously attach any criminal liability or any liability until you establish that both of them were acting in concert. If Mr. Srinivasan knew that Meiyappan was betting, and then yet chose to go along with the game, then it's one matter. If Srinivasan did not know about it, Meiyappan was on a trip of his own, that's another matter altogether.
But if
what is more important is what Anand was asking.
And then he tries to distance himself from Chennai Super Kings overnight.
Did Meiyappan go ahead?
Isn't that a breach of trust with the players?
Next question.
And Kishore Bhimani, this is the question. You said, Sanjay Hegde said there will be a lot of inferences. If Mahendra Singh Dhoni has made a statement that Gurunath Meiyappan is a cricket enthusiast and nothing more at Chennai Super Kings, what will you have to say? Will you not lose your faith in the Indian captain? It has got no legal ramifications, but there is a moral, ethical responsibility, and you are breaking the faith of the cricket fan. Doesn't the cricket fan deserve to know what the captain of the country has to say when his own franchise owner and official has been betting behind him?
Can I have 1 minute to speak after this thing is over? Anand, the fact is very simple. Mr. Hegde said that how much did Mr. Srinivasan know about his son-in-law's betting? Whether he did or didn't, it was Srinivasan who stood in front of the world and said that he is just a cricket enthusiast.
He's
not a team owner. He lied. Meiyappan was sitting in the dugout. He was in the dressing room. He was at the nets. He was a full-fledged owner. And why did Srinivasan, to me the most guilty point is, why did he try to shield him?
Yes.
He shielded him obviously because he was guilty.
Because
and don't let Mr. Hegde tell us that there was no guilt involved.
Saad bin Jung, let's come to you on this. It is about Meiyappan, it is also about Srinivasan, but as Anand pointed out, it is much larger than that. We know that there are names of 12 players in that sealed envelope. We know that there are certain players that are going to be questioned. Now, this report is actually going to make it clear to fans whether or not those players, according to the Mudgal committee, have been found guilty, whether they've done something wrong or not. Doesn't the cricket fan deserve to know that?
Is that question for
Yes, Saad, that's for you.
The game of Srinivasan,
Listen, there's an axiom in law.
Bringing in Saad bin Jung and our other panelists.
This is not an open debate. If this is an open debate, then I'll shout when you're also speaking.
Yes, Saad, go ahead. Saad, go ahead.
Allow me to talk. Now, are we defending Srinivasan or are we defending a beautiful game? And that is the crucial thing which a lot of people are forgetting. Also, the cause of action arose way before the matter came to the courts. And the cause of action arose for Hyderabad. They were removed. Kerala was removed and Pune was removed. Cause of action was there when dispute was brought to the game by CSK. Yet not a single person took any action. And this is where my problem lies. Why was action not taken? Were people hiding? Now, in order to prove to this public, 1.5 billion or 1.2 billion people in this world as to what in India as to what corruption in cricket is, I'm going to take just 1 minute of your time, Anand. Please give that to me. The bouncing ball, I'm going to speak through cricketing terms. The bouncing ball in Australia, if you need back foot players, if you take front foot players, it's corruption, you've got a quota issue. Now, the issue again is in the 90s, match fixing, nobody took any action, that is corruption. Legitimizing chucking, that is corruption. Officials wanting to be in power when not for the love of the game, but for any other motive, that is corruption. And also not taking action against a team where the owner has gone ahead and bet, that is corruption. And I'm telling you that if Meiyappan is found guilty, there is going to be a problem, because investigation will then have to be taken against all the committee members of BCCI, including Srinivasan, who did not take action. Were they subverting crime? Were they supporting crime? What were they doing? Why was action not taken when cause of action was there?
Well, absolutely. And
that
also,
is corruption.
No, and not to mention that N. Srinivasan is the head of India Cements, which owns Chennai Super Kings. So if an official of Chennai Super Kings, be it his son-in-law or someone else, is indulging in betting and corruption, how can the parent company not be held responsible for that, Sanjay Hegde? Atul Vasan also joining us now. In fact, Atul, let's come to you on that, because you also believe that the contents of this report should not be made public. Help us understand why.
No, I don't say that. I think it should be made public, because if we have come to a conjuncture where it doesn't solve any purpose if you hide facts.
If you hide it, yes.
They've been given such a long time. Whatever the envelope contained, whatever the envelope contained, has been investigated or further dwelled upon by the commission. So I think if they reached a situation where they are going back to the court saying this is what we have found and there is no culpability, then make it open, because if there ever some hearsay, some allegations which are not true,
voices,
it doesn't.
No, Atul Vasan, if somebody says making a public disclosure is not in the interest of the game, will you agree or disagree as a player? As a player and as a cricket fan, would you want to have no doubts about who's representing your country and who's administrating the game?
Yeah. No, not really, because once the situation has reached the courts, there is no such thing as hidden, there is no such thing as privacy, and people are arrested and then the investigation takes place. If they are found not guilty or whatever, they fight the cases and everybody knows what's going on. So why differentiate this point? And I was listening to Saad, and Saad is saying, right, so many things should not happen, but I don't have delusions that we're going to attain utopia. We have to find like a hybrid model where we can get our things forward and the game should be looked after, but not like going after each and everything and destroying the whole institution. So we must find ways where we can move ahead from here. And people have
what's happened
done bad
as a
things.
result of all this is that the cricket fan is completely losing faith. Everyone questions everything that goes on. Kishore Bhimani, even the Supreme Court.
Not really. Some of them might be disoriented.
About it, Kishore Bhimani. In fact, the Supreme Court has repeatedly spoken of the need to protect the game's reputation, and that is the bottom line. The game's reputation is at stake. So why wouldn't further transparency actually help it? If someone is absolutely clear, why shouldn't people know it?
Tina, can I briefly answer this?
Yeah.
My point here is that these names, the facts that have been submitted to the court have been done so by a responsible, legally appointed body headed by a tremendous individual called Mukul Mudgal, who are responsible people. It is not the work of an investigative journalist. It is not rumor mongering. It is not some sort of investigator who's come up with these names. These are names that have been submitted by a very responsible body to the Supreme Court, and it is only fitting that in this, having made this exchange, the Supreme Court should tell us that these are the people. That doesn't mean guilt. These are the people who are being investigated. If they are guilty, we'll go further. And if they are not guilty, what have they got to hide? What has Mr. Srinivasan got to hide? Why is he saying no?
Exactly.
Sanjay Hegde, please answer that, because that's the thing.
There's a simple proposition in law.
Actually end the speculation more than anything else.
There's a simple proposition in law. It says that what is of interest to the public may not be in the public interest. You may all be interested. You may all be interested in finding out who did what with which and to whom.
How is this not in public interest?
But please look at it. You have a World Cup coming up in less than 100 days.
All the more so.
You have a team which is more or less getting into shape.
Is it? Mr. Sanjay Hegde, tell me this. If the person who is going to lead the team at the 2015 World Cup has come out and told the Mudgal panel, pro panel committee that Gurunath Meiyappan is just a cricket enthusiast, he had no other role to play with the Chennai Super Kings, would you want him to lead the country at the 2015 World Cup? Would you want him to lead the team?
Or his ability to lead the country to a victory?
No, I am talking about his integrity, sir. Because as a fan, I want a captain who's got no blemish on him. There are cricketing fans who would till date ask, why didn't Mahendra Singh Dhoni turn around and say, I will not lead a team where the owner or the official is betting. I will not play for a team where the owner and the official is betting. Why did he continue to lead the team? Why did the players not take a stance and say, we don't want owners who are corrupting the game? Atul Vasan, tell me this. Kishore Bhimani, tell me this. Don't you have this grouse in your heart?
No, let me tell you.
I wish that these players had done that at that time.
Yeah, I'll tell you. No, that is a wish list. What happened is also, I can understand why it happened. A private organization, somebody was found with a hand in the till. Now all the organization falls behind, and the cadre falls behind and tries to hush up the matter.
No, sir, I don't
always
expect
the board has been doing.
No,
But
sir,
this time
do
around,
you as a
things
fan,
were
Mr.
different.
Kishore Bhimani, expect a Mahendra Singh Dhoni to keep quiet?
Oh my God, listen to me.
Because we don't
Listen
want
to me.
We want people who will stand up and say we
Listen to
don't
me.
want corruption in the sport.
I'm not saying whether they did right or wrong. I'm just explaining why things happened and why we have to understand with this kind of.
But Atul Vasan,
And
that's the reason why the inferences, the observations, the answers that people have given. We would want to know what a Rahul Dravid had to tell the Mudgal probe panel when he realized 4 of his players were involved in spot fixing, and there are allegations about his team owner also involved in betting. That CCTV footage from the Jaipur Jaipur hotel has still not come forth from the Jaipur police. The Delhi police has said the onus is on the Jaipur police to investigate. They have not investigated yet. What have these owners said at that point in time? Do they think it is okay to bet on their team, even if it is casual bets?
Well, they have been investigated.
These questions might not have legal ramifications, Sanjay Hegde, but it matters to the fan. It matters to the fan who treats who worships these players. There are viewers of Newshour today who sit and worship players like Mahendra Singh Dhoni. They treat them as gods.
Listen, what you are invoking is the spirit of the game.
Yes, sir.
The spirit of the game
and that is what the Supreme Court invoked when they set N. Srinivasan aside and told the likes of Shivlal Yadav and Sunil Gavaskar to take charge of the IPL. That is exactly what the Supreme Court had invoked.
It is the game which needs to be protected. That is what this whole issue is about. If we're not trying to protect the spirit of the game, if we're not trying to protect the reputation of the game, then what are we trying to do with this investigation? That's the whole purpose of it.
Look, in a legal proceeding, what you are trying to do is to ensure that there has been no criminality. If there is criminality, there is prosecution.
Sir, we are also trying to ensure that there has been no breach of faith.
Is wrong in administration,
and the people who trust the administration and the players to run the game with the true integrity and spirit have not misled them. That the people, the fans have not been misled, and they have been misled at every single corner, and there is video evidence to it. How can the court?
Anand, may I come in on this?
Yes, Mr. Kishore Bhimani. How can you ignore somebody like
I would like to tell you, Anand,
oh, he's a mere cricket enthusiast.
I would like
to big deal.
I would like to say with no equivocation at all that we would rather not win the World Cup, we'd rather not perform at the World Cup than to let cricket become dishonest. I don't think winning the World Cup or preparing a team for the World Cup is worth letting cricket go to ruin. And the important thing today is that both the board president and the Indian captain should stand down and say, please rescue this game. Please let us know if we have done anything wrong. In the meanwhile, let cricket win. Neither Mr. Dhoni nor Mr. Srinivasan are bigger than the game.
Mr. Bhimani, that's what Sanjay Hegde talks about, this not being the right timing because we're looking ahead to the 2015 World Cup. I mean, let's go back to Saad on that, because Saad, you're nodding your head in agreement with Kishore Bhimani.
World Cup comes around every 4 years.
But the point is that there's
you can't let sleeping dogs lie just because the World Cup is round.
One second, Atul. I'm going to Saad.
Agree with you, Atul.
I'm going to Saad on this. You know, there's 12 players whose names are also there in that sealed envelope. Doesn't the cricket fan deserve to know whether or not they are guilty of something? Don't we deserve to know who's making up that team that's going to go to the 2015 World Cup?
Exactly, Atul. Can you imagine if 6 or 8 test players, or even if the captain is part of the list which needs to be investigated further? I mean, why hide that? Why create a suspense? Why have a doubt?
Yeah, and
why
if they're not guilty,
completely clear about this issue and also understand? You know, Tina,
how long can you keep on investigating
the problem here is,
how long can you keep on investigating something?
One second, Atul, let me
they're
finish.
on the list and you'll keep on investigating something. You know,
Atul, Atul, let me finish. Just let me finish, okay? Now, cover up of corruption is corruption. Now, that is accepted. Then, you know, the most dangerous thing is now motive is getting established as to why these people... One second, let me finish, please, let me finish.
Yes, sir.
Then there is a motive that is getting established as to why people are dying to come to power. What is this motive? Why are they coming to power? In order to subvert this corruption? In order to be part of this corruption? So I am really worried, and the people of India have to absolutely know, and with complete transparency on every level, and I think the Honorable Supreme Court has seen that and will definitely maintain the spirit of the game, by the way, which is not a joking matter, and also will make sure that the game does not come into any dispute.
there's two important points here today as a result of what's happened. One is why should the report not be made public, and the second one is N. Srinivasan and the BCCI. Just like you said, why this penchant for power? It's something that the Supreme Court has commented on before. In fact, they called it nauseating and sickening. And once again, we've seen N. Srinivasan's counsel first ones to say report should not be made public. It's not in the interest of the game. Also pushing for permission for N. Srinivasan to participate in the AGM and once again stand for election. Himanshu Chaturvedi, that's the second issue here. You know, despite all this happening, that extreme penchant, that extreme eagerness to get back into the seat of the chief of the BCCI, that still persists.
I can do a little rewind on the entire episode, what has happened. Once, about almost a year back, I actually went down in the exact problem what it is. I have this small advertisement. It actually took 12 years for BCCI to form an ACSU. In 2000, a scam was unearthed, and at 12 years BCCI took to make an ACSU. And when the ACSU was made, this ad was given out in the papers. And this never came into picture. No, it says 5 police officers and people will be appointed, those who will be like an eagle eye on the people. Now here is the problem lies. The BCCI never has any intention of catching corruption because the people sitting at the helm of affairs are themselves corrupt. Mr. Srinivasan is trying to drag the issue to achieve. I don't understand.
They might be corrupt or whatever your allegations are, but they've got no right whatsoever to corrupt the game. Sir, they have no right to corrupt the game, and they are doing it so brazenly. It's a little aside of the debate today, but Kishore Bhimani such as a brazenness that they don't think twice about violating their own constitution, which they amended. Zahir Khan fiasco happened in the England tour. That's why they said no injured player will be selected. He has to be fit on the day of selection. And look, they have got Mahendra Singh Dhoni in that 19-member team. And he's injured. He's not playing the 2.
No, why is that?
Selected
because he's a share.
Atul Vasan, this is how brazenly they go about flouting rules and saying, we care 2 hoots, you can't touch a hair on a head. That is why we say these names need to be made public. Be it tried by media, be it naming and shaming, they need to be named and shamed, they need to be exposed. They cannot get away with this.
Tell me what rules are you talking about? These people have made the rules as they've gone along because this is how it started. You know, we all know Microsoft started in a garage and look where it is. BCCI also started like this. Nobody realized this was going to be so big that it's going to affect each and every person's life in this country, and hence this debate. So I'm just saying because now they're shocked. I'm sure from here on the kind of scrutiny the board and the cricket has come to, I think going forward things will be different and all people will say
because
that they can't keep on doing things in a very unilateral manner and get away with it. One good thing is, but second thing,
chairman.
Let me finish.
And he's sitting as ICC chairman today, and nobody has cared to tell him you can't do that.
Let me finish.
Atul Vasan, why? How is it that the East Zone is ready to prop him up for re-election?
Exactly. So,
to Jagmohan Dalmia and the rest who talked about who were there when the 1996-99 the entire fixing fiasco happened, and they came out and said cricket needs to be cleaned. We need clean players. The same Jagmohan Dalmia is today standing and backing N. Srinivasan. So what credibility do they have? That's why we turn to the Supreme Court and say, please name and shame them. Please be very strong on them. Let the world know what these people are up to.
You made your point. You made my point.
Anand, can I come in briefly?
I'm just saying that,
earlier. Yes, Atul.
So, okay, carry on then.
Yes, Atul. Atul, go ahead. Atul, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that, we have to learn to differentiate. We can't just immediately raise the flags, we have to see there is a breaking of law when you jump a red light and you murder somebody. So let's not immediately go to the other extreme, because they were jumping the right, nobody was bothering, and we have to differentiate between betting and fixing.
Fair enough.
Mr. Mudgal and or Mudgal's report can clarify that was there any fixing going on?
Yes.
Rest, if there was fixing going on or there was doubts of fixing and these players were involved, it was not hearsay. If there was something found about those players, come out with it openly.
But
if not, then I think we should carry on from here and at least make a certain...
Sanjay Hegde will come to you. Kishore Bhimani disagrees. Yes, Mr. Bhimani.
Yeah, I disagree very strongly. What Atul is saying, there should be a differentiation between betting and match fixing. We are not talking about match fixing. What we are talking about, Gurunath Meiyappan, is that sitting in that dugout, sitting in the dressing room, sitting at the nets, he used that knowledge to bet. This is insider trading. It's nothing to do. He doesn't have to fix the match.
No, by the way, before you carry on,
going on inside.
it's been
using the knowledge. He's
beyond.
Atul, please let me finish. Atul, please let me finish.
Before we come back to you, I just want to make one point.
Even with this,
he is wanting to make money at the cost of the team.
That has come out, Mr.
And then when there are laws, the laws are changed.
Gurunath
The laws are
Meiyappan
changed.
bet against his own team. There is information that Gurunath Meiyappan on the phone has said that my team will make 40 runs. The team has made 141. We cannot completely disregard the possibility, but therefore we come back to the moot point here today. Once the report is made public, we know.
And other people, he has lost money in each and every game. So where is the
Sir, how dare he bet? How dare Atul Vasan? How dare Gurunath Meiyappan? How dare Gurunath Meiyappan sit there and sully the game of cricket,
I'm
sir?
just saying.
It may be a small offence, legally a bailable offence,
course,
900 rupees, and you get bail and you can get out. But the fact is, you have tainted the game of cricket. You have spoiled and you have belied the trust. A game that is a religion, a game that people believe in, players who are worshipped and treated as gods cannot behave like this. Officials cannot behave like this, sir.
Can we differentiate here? Anand, can we differentiate here?
Yes, Mr. Hegde.
See, there is one problem on the administration side, and there may be another problem on the cricketing side.
You know,
Atul, just let me finish. There may be a problem on the administration side. I have nothing to do with it. As far as the cricketing side is concerned, cricketing merits would be something entirely different. Whether Dhoni saw something, whether he reported something, whether he should have done X or Y, has nothing to do with his ability to hit that helicopter shot.
No, Sanjay Hegde. The fact is, Siddharth Trivedi faced the ban because he did not report an approach from a bookie.
Between the cricketer and the administrator.
Mr. Hegde, Siddharth Trivedi faced a ban because he did not report an approach from a bookie. So then, what should the treatment be meted out to the likes of N. Srinivasan and Mahendra Singh Dhoni?
They
turned a blind eye to somebody who was betting behind their back.
Also, Mr. Hegde,
who didn't stand up to this.
You're saying that the two are disconnected. I'm saying the helicopter shot is absolutely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with what we are talking about.
Irrelevant.
We are not talking about merit. We are not talking about the ability to play cricket. We are talking about
if he was not a cricketer, you would not be talking about him.
Nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Listen, if the cricketer was match fixing, that's another thing. Go after him.
Can we say something?
But just because the owners of the company or whomsoever he played for, that basically means that if right at the head of the
Mr.
company
Hegde,
which owns this
if I was a cricketer of integrity, I would not play for a tainted owner.
That's not it.
I would not play for an owner or an official who is sullying the game of cricket, be it betting or fixing. So there is a responsibility. There is a responsibility where these players owe to the fans because they have participated tacitly or inadvertently.
And if they've not participated, then again the contents of the report will make that clear.
No, see, as far as the report is concerned, right now this is a duty that the commissioners have done to the court. The court asked them, please tell me X, Y, Z, look into it and tell me. They've come with the report, they've given it to the court. But right now it is for the court to decide. What do I do with the report? Do I go ahead, reveal it?
That's what we are.
Or do I?
The point of view is that make the report public. Let everybody know what everybody has been doing, because it is a fan's right. It's the people's right who have made risen this game. This game has risen to such a stature because of the belief, the faith that the people, the fans, the viewers have put in. And it is their trust, their breach of faith that needs to be accounted for.
Shut their televisions and not watch. That's a different thing altogether.
No, sir. You can't just say that and get away with it. Say that, okay, switch off the television and don't watch. No. It goes far beyond that. It goes far beyond that. Yes, sir. Coming to you, Himanshu Chaturvedi, just a minute. Yes, sir.
Anand, listen. Yeah, Anand, I think it's very clear. Atul, the red light is being jumped by so many people that cricket is dying. we need to understand that we also have to stop demeaning this beautiful game in order to protect people and personalities. Now the issue here is very simple. What are our stalwarts doing? What is Sachin Tendulkar doing? Where are they hiding? Where have they gone to? Why are they not coming out and making a noise and saying yes, cricket should win, and having a point of view? Nobody has a point of view because everybody is taking money home. Either they retired, they're taking money, or they're playing, they're taking money, or the administrators are taking money. So who is going to come here and fight for this beautiful game? The game is completely gone. People are saying no, the game, let the personalities win.
You said right. Can I say something?
Come on, Atul, this is really miserable.
Himanshu Chaturvedi will come to you in a minute. Yes, Atul, you wanted to make a point.
I know. Kevin, before Kevin. No, I just say, I think right. There are plenty of legends of the games in Indian cricket who I can't hear on this issue at all. Where are they? Why are they not speaking out? I know, you know what happened. Even the bigger names, Tiger Patodi went to so much trouble to form the Federation of Indian Cricketers. And everything was done. And these big cricketers, 4 or 5 names I will not take, they were there till the end. And at the last minute at the altar, they dished and there was no association because the board has its own way. Anybody speaks up, he's either sorted or given a plum posting or a job or some kind of a pay packet. So this is where are the big names? Unless they come together and actually stand, it's not difficult to actually oust these administrators who become so big.
The board
bigger than the game, bigger than the cricketers.
The board does exactly what it pleases. There have been absolute double standards, as pointed out earlier on this debate, with regards to the Kochi team, with regards to the Pune team, and now with Chennai Super Kings. Himanshu Chaturvedi, coming back to you now, had all this happened with another team, would that team not have been suspended by now?
It would have been decimated by now. They would have just finished that team forever. The entire nexus, if I see, in the entire circuit is 3 people are manipulating the Indian cricket today. Mr. Srinivasan, Mr. Meiyappan and Mr. MS Dhoni. If you keep these 3 people out of cricket today, whether it is forthcoming World Cup or any other event, cricket would be absolutely clean. Because
no, sir,
the entire thing is moving around these
I don't trust you there, sir. I don't trust you there.
No, you may not.
I don't trust you there. But yes, Mr. Kishore Bhimani, we can say that the Rajasthan Royals franchise still stays afloat because the Chennai Super Kings was also dragged into this entire fixing saga.
I think it is Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Nobody would bet if Chennai Super Kings would have been caught. Rajasthan Royal would have not dared do it.
The inference,
they would have punished there and then.
Let me Rajasthan Royals is still afloat despite 4 or 5 of its players spot fixing.
Give me 1 minute.
Kishore Bhimani is because Chennai Super Kings is also dragged into this fixing net thanks to Gurunath Meiyappan.
Now just give me a minute.
We are getting away from the main issue, Anand.
1 sec, Mr. Bhimani.
I thought I was speaking.
No,
but you keep it. No,
just give me a minute.
Let him interrupt while I'm speaking.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yes, Mr. Chaturvedi. Finish, sir.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that, you see, this is a Bangladesh report. The player was caught and he was sacked within no time. So if Rajasthan Royal people were sacked within no time, this controversy, the intention of the board, people sitting in the board is not there to punish people, those who are wrong. If the board president is clean, if he can take the action proactively against people, those who are guilty, nothing wrong will percolate further.
Sir, he has not done it in the last 14-15 months. We don't expect him to do anything right now. Mr. Bhimani, go ahead, sir.
Let us not say that because we are preparing for the World Cup or because somebody plays an excellent helicopter shot or somebody has taken a hat-trick, you don't investigate this further. Today, the game of cricket is bigger than all the individuals.
Yes.
And today, all these individuals who may be innocent, totally innocent, but let us not avoid the public knowing about what is happening. This country needs transparency. We have in this country a very bad habit of sitting on secrets, whether it be the 62 war, the 71 war, investigations, nothing will come out. Everything will remain in the cupboard. Why? We, the public, have a right to know. We need to hear from the people what they are investigating. And especially when it comes from an excellent individual like Mukul Mudgal, it should be in the public domain.
See, Sanjay Hegde.
I entirely disagree there.
Yes,
listen,
before you answer,
I disagree with Mr.
Hegde, before
Bhimani.
you answer, just want to add to that. You know, that's the point. This report, headed by Mukul Mudgal, why should it not be made public when A, it will clarify who's guilty and who's not in the eyes of the report. B, it will once and for all put rest to all speculation, which I think is a good thing. Why shouldn't the cricket fan know?
It was not Mukul Mudgal's job to decide guilt.
There are names of Team India players who've come up. Shouldn't the cricket fan know whether those Team India players are doing something unlawful or not?
Please, Mukul Mudgal's job was not to decide guilt or innocence.
No.
Mukul Mudgal's job was to report.
Facts. Yes, to present the facts.
He has done his job.
Exactly.
He's done his job. Now it's for the court.
Exactly. So the
now
investigation.
Please don't prejudge the court.
So the
please
investigation,
don't jump your
if it's
guns
made
before
public,
the
would
court
it not put rest to speculation?
decides what it has to do on that.
Fair enough.
Now this
Fair
transparency
enough.
point.
But no. But that's the point. It's a presentation of fact. It is obviously not an adjudication of guilt. But the presentation of facts themselves, would it not make it clear what exactly happened? Should the cricket fan not get to know in the eyes of the report what exactly happened? How is that going to be detrimental to anyone? You are not the Supreme Court.
The cricket fan is not the Supreme Court. The process is in the Supreme Court.
Sir,
the Supreme Court has
the game of cricket.
It has to decide what
the game of cricket has not gone beyond 9 countries. But 1.2 billion people have made it one of the most watched sports in the world, sir.
The Supreme Court
one country. And that is this country, this nation of India, who treats this nothing short of a religion.
And the Supreme Court has also said that today. They've asked specifically all parties involved whether it should be made public, which means the court is also considering whether or not it should be made. Yes, but it shows that the court thinks that there is a possibility that it should be made public.
Don't rush to judgment. That's all I'm telling you.
No, sir. We are not rushing to judgment. Like you said, this Mudgal probe panel is a group of very, very highly regarded individuals who have gone in and who are going to state the facts.
I hold in the highest respect.
Correct. Who are going to state the facts. And it is the owner. It is the responsibility. It is the responsibility towards the fan, towards the 1.2 billion people of the country, that they are made aware of the facts. Whether somebody's role there or not there.
My answer is simple. If you do not like what's happening in cricket, stop watching it.
No, but that's not a solution.
That automatically has its own impact.
If something goes wrong, I'm sorry, that is just not a solution, and that is not an argument. It's like telling people if something goes wrong, stop believing in God. It doesn't make any sense. Atul Vasan, Sanjay Hegde saying don't rush to conclusions. But if we get to know what is there in this report, wouldn't that actually avoid any rush to conclusions? Wouldn't that actually clarify things so that nobody then starts suspecting unnecessarily and does not rush to conclusions?
The job of drawing conclusions is the Supreme Court's job.
Yes, we are agreeing with that.
Not the job of the average
if the report is made public, public will not then jump to conclusions. Atul.
Mr. Hegde.
Can one person speak at a time?
Yeah, Atul, go ahead, please.
Atul Vasan, please. Can we talk one at a time, please? Because so many people are talking at the same time. See, I think we are confusing it. Mr. Mudgal did a job. He went on some hearsays, some information, and then investigated it. Even if he found somebody guilty or he feels that there's something has been taken forward, it has to be taken by courts, and those people have to be investigated again. Exactly. Even if they've caught, they'll go to courts, they'll get bail. Everybody, even the people caught in the last fixing scandal, are saying they didn't do anything, they're on bail. So the cases will go on. So this thing will carry on going. The point is that if we have made an issue of this, we are swinging from this spectrum, end of the spectrum, to the other spectrum. We're talking about the ethics and morals of the game and WG Grace. Again, we are going back 1 billion people. We are confusing this whole debate. We're talking
we are not.
If Mr. has done something,
make it public. No, we are not, Atul Vasan, and I'm going back to I'm going to go back to what I asked you just some time back before you joined us, Mr. Chaturvedi, coming to you in just a bit. The fact is, we have what the Tamil Nadu CBCID has investigated. They have got the voice sample which matches to Gurunath Meiyappan. We've got the person on record who purchased a SIM card on behalf of Gurunath Meiyappan, the very same SIM card which he used to speak to Vindu Dara Singh and Vikram Agarwal.
Let's not waste our time.
Wait. What I'm asking you is, after all of this, this man, his role in betting is beyond doubt. Now, after all of this, if the captain of the Indian cricket team has gone ahead and told the Mudgal Pro panel that this man is nothing more than a cricket enthusiast, do I or do I not want to know? Should the people of the country not know what MS Dhoni's position is on a man who's been betting on the game?
First of all, let me tell you, we don't even know in what and how many words he said this. It is just construed in so many ways what he said.
We want to know if he's not said it. We want to know if Dhoni has come out and said take strict action. We respect him for that. We need to know that.
If I know anybody, I think Mahendra Singh Dhoni is the last guy. Mahendra Singh Dhoni is the last guy who will actually go and do this kind of thing. You know, he's one of the most straightforward people.
See, Atul,
and I'm sure he doesn't want, don't want to actually be in your face and rock the boat too much. He's just watching to go along the system. If this person did wrong, take him out of the game.
Atul, I just
if
want
the
to
one
ask
person did wrong, take that person out of the game. Take that evil thing out of the game, but not destroy everything.
You're talking about, you know, the Supreme Court will decide if somebody needs to be investigated further or not. Exactly, that is what will happen. I have a very simple question. If the Supreme Court decides that certain individuals do not need to be investigated, isn't that a good thing, and isn't that something the fans deserve to know?
Yes.
Which is why, again, we should know what's there in the report.
That's what I said. I think this
if the Supreme Court
everything should be out in the open, you know. If the court deems fit, everything should be in the open. And people should not be given a chance or a choice to decide whether... I'm surprised I heard that they said, okay, all the parties should go and decide whether this should be in the public domain or not. I think that decision should be taken out of their hands by the court itself.
Sanjay Hegde.
Can I explain that?
Saad and Mr. Chaturvedi, coming to you, quick word from Sanjay.
What to do with the report? It has asked all parties. Please tell me what you want to say about whether I should make this report public or I should not. So that is why I keep repeating to you, don't rush to judgment. The job of judgment is the Supreme Court's job.
May I say something here?
Yeah, Saad, please come in.
Anand, may I say something? See, the public is always going to come to its own conclusions. No matter what the Supreme Court says, the public and every cricket-loving public person over here in India is going to come to his own individual conclusion. Now it is, and therefore it becomes all that more important for the BCCI to become transparent in order to retain his confidence. And the problem is that we are so badly caught within the hands of the politician that the truth is the first thing that gets, because they come up with political solutions, and truth is the first thing that gets compromised. And if you're going to cover up corruption, cover up of corruption is corruption, then Atul, don't you think that every player that is covering it up, every official that is covering up, every Srinivasan that is covering up is corrupt? So Atul, we need to, like you said earlier, you agreed earlier, the game is far bigger than the individual. The game is everything. We've compromised the game over 20 years, 30 years.
And I think if the and I think Saad, if the things are in Supreme Court already, it's not a sessions court. I think this country, if it's thriving and alive and kicking, is the belief and you know, faith in judiciary. And without that, we've got nothing in this country. So I think in this country, Supreme Court is the most respected authority, and if they say something, and it doesn't really matter what the people
think. That's precisely the reason why we are sitting and discussing this out. And Himanshu Chaturvedi, thanks for your patience.
Still feels otherwise. Besides,
going to him. Yes, Mr.
Chaturvedi. They will decide on the legalities.
Sir, just wait on. I'm just bringing in Mr. Chaturvedi in also. He's been wanting to make a point, and I'll come to you. Yeah, Mr. Chaturvedi.
I'm quite surprised. Two things which has happened into few minutes last. I'm quite surprised the way Atul is trying to put it. You've been a player, Atul. Is it only the Supreme Court which is supposed to see the wrong things happening? It is not the administrator of the cricket associations to look into the wrong which is happening? I'm quite surprised that each time you do a wrong or a scam has happened, it should go to the court.
Where would
the Supreme Court. Second is, Mr. Hegde is saying that you stop watching cricket. That means if anything wrong is happening, the people must go away. The wrong people, the corrupt people on the administration should stay there. Now, I'm quite surprised with the two statements, and one is coming out from Atul. Atul, I'm sure, as a sportsman, we must make sure that the cleaning starts at the administrative level, not each time we have to go and knock the door of the court.
But you know what, Mr. Chaturvedi, the sorry part here today is, the sorry reality, Saad, and I'm coming back to you, is the fact is that nobody from the administration, the who's who, from the political world cutting across party lines, kept their mouth shut. They could not do anything to set Srinivasan aside. The only body that was able to do that, the only body that was able to do that was the Supreme Court. That's the sorry state of affairs. Yes, Saad.
Look at the amount of money involved in the profits of the BCCI coffers.
Anand, I'm not going to talk if this man is going to keep
Yes, sir. Go ahead, go ahead.
You know, the issue is that, Anand, we discussed this earlier in the afternoon. The matter is very simple. Earlier, when this thing broke, at least there were 3-4 people, really noble people, who went and retired and said, who said, no, we don't want to be part of this mess. But today, there's no one. Today, not a single person that is coming up and saying, including the players, including the administrators, and also Atul, I just want to add to what you were saying. Legalities the court will look into, but what about those hundreds of thousands of people who are betting on cricket in India? They know exactly that that the game has been compromised, and they know that there is no proof over there. So there is so much that the court can do, not beyond that. Beyond that, it is up to the morals and ethics of an association which just completely seems to lack those.
Well, exactly. It's credibility, it's reputation.
It is.
And there is a huge responsibility to.
I agree with you.
Mr. Hegde, you know why we say this? The Supreme Court today is not just hearing a case between a petitioner and a defendant. It is actually responsible for the trust and the belief of the fans. And I say to you, as a fan, and not just for debating sake, I'm saying this because today it pains me as a cricket lover and as a fan to see SMSs and messages coming while a game is saying that this team is going to score this money, this player will get out at this score, and there are about 10 messages that come. That is how much this game has been degraded to. That is how much, when a particular result happens, the first reaction you hear from fans is, "Arey, ye to fixed hai yaar. Ye aise hi hona tha. Abhi agla match wo jeetenge." This is not what you want to hear,
sir. But as a lawyer, no. The Supreme Court can't take into account anything beyond the law. Because the Supreme Court is a court of law.
But they can put and they can make, they can give out a verdict and they can put systems in place which will get these people online, which will tell these kind of administrators and selectors that they cannot get away with flouting the rules brazenly just because they claim to be an independently managed body which has its own constitution, which the BCCI itself does not respect.
I may agree with you administratively. I may agree with you as a fan. But as a lawyer and as a man of law, I must tell you that there are limitations into what a court can look into.
Agreed.
Which is entirely what is on the record.
Agreed. No,
entirely within the framework of law.
See, Sanjay
and
it
cannot step into a game, no matter how much you want that to.
We are not saying that the Supreme Court is going to order the arrest of XYZ. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying today is that the report should be made public. Just closing comments from you, Kishore Bhimani, regarding the fact that the report should be made public, and also regarding what happens to CSK and N. Srinivasan. Isn't their position untenable? Isn't credibility questioned? What happens? Closing comments from Mr. Bhimani.
Tina, just a very brief comment here. Mr. Hegde has talked about legality. He's talking as a lawyer. I'd like to talk as somebody who doesn't know the law but who's trying to learn. When the BCCI does not like a law, it changes it.
Correct.
When Mr. Srinivasan wanted to become a team owner, they changed the law. When today a team was announced to go to Australia, they changed the law when they said that the selectors will select a man who is fit today. There are 4 people who are declared unfit today by the selectors, by the board, but they have been taken on the team because they have changed the law. Mr. Srinivasan changes the law when he feels like it, and when we are talking about Gurunath Meiyappan, he says no, he is just a cricket enthusiast. Now, why is he defending him? And which legal man can tell me that what he has done is right? He has broken the spirit of the game, the morals and the ethics of the game. And I, as a cricket fan, am very, very hurt.
Every single cricket fan
the answer
is hurt.
to that is very simple. Get your parliament to pass a law. Take over the BCCI. Pass a law in parliament.
But that, Mr. Hegde,
that is where
let's laws perhaps
the entire political fraternity is together on that.
Yes,
they will never do that.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. But that's a separate issue. That's a separate debate.
No, that is the issue.
Yes, more stringent laws need to come in pertaining to the game. But with the situation as it is right now, what happens next? We are saying that the report should be made public. It will, if anything, restore some credibility. If anything, put an end to speculation. Gentlemen, we are out of time on the first News Hour debate tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.